It's going to take a lot of work.
One thing that is also clear is that the president's signature promise on health care, if you like your health care plan, you're going to be able to keep it, that is not literally true. It is not true, and there's been the president's taken a lot of heat for that this week. And the Wall Street Journal reported this week that there was actually a lot of debate behind the scenes about whether or not the president should actually make that promise. You see the headline from yesterday's Wall Street Journal right there, and they quote, one former senior administration official said that as the law was being crafted by the White House and lawmakers, some White House policy advisors objected to the breadth of Mr. Obama's Keep Your Plan promise. They were overruled by political aides, the former official said. Is that true?
That is not my recollection at all of that. And let's talk about that promise for a second. If the president didn't intend to keep this promise, why would he have gone out of his way to put a provision in the law that specifically says that if you have a plan before Obamacare passed, you can keep that plan? Now, if your plan has been downgraded or canceled, you can't. But if the president were to allow people to have those plans be downgraded, or insurance companies to keep selling bare-bones plans,
but George, this was a problem.
But George, if he had done that, he'd be violating an even more important promise to the American people, that everyone would have a guarantee of access to quality, affordable health insurance. It's important to understand who we're talking about and the kind of plans we're talking about. It's 5% of the market is this individual market. 80% of people have health care through Medicare, their employers, or Medicaid. 15% don't have health insurance and now have access to it for the first time. And 5%, if you had your plan and it hasn't been changed or canceled, you can keep it. 50% of this group are going to be able to get access tax subsidies to make their plans cheaper, and most of them will get a better plan for less, for the same or less. And many of these plans were cut-rate plans that didn't cover hospitalization, doctor's visits.
Let's stipulate what you just said. Let's assume it's true, but it still doesn't meet the literal promise the president made right there, and your policymakers knew that then. Why didn't the president say during the campaign what he said this week? For the vast majority of people, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it.
Look, I can't go back in time on this, and like I said, I don't recall this debate the Wall Street Journal talks about in any way, shape, or form.
This never came up inside?
Not that I remember, but here's the point, is that if you had a plan before the Affordable Care Act passed and hasn't been changed or canceled, you can keep it. And look, I understand that there's controversy and confusion. This is why the president went out and addressed it in Boston this week.
John Carl also talked about in his piece how the president's poll numbers have taken a hit in the wake of this. The NBC Wall Street Journal poll this week shows his approval rating only at 42%, lowest, I believe, of his second term. And